Fridays are usually the most fun day because it's the start of the weekend. So today, if you guys are big fans of the Yoshi wrestling scene, you're always on the right channel. So today we're going to be reviewing mostly from MARIGOLD. Now, as you know, I'm a bit behind on that, so we're going to finish off the ones from the recent tour back in May. I think it began in April and it ended in May with, of course, Rising Spirit. Now, this particular one has 2 days, but one of these days has a two-show event, an afternoon show and an evening show. So it's going to be crazy to go through all of it, but it doesn't matter. We're going to go from all shows from A to Z on this one. So bear with me, people. And then, of course, as always, we'll cap up our episode, as usual, with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the yapping. It's time to rock. So, as always, the entire episode is all about MARIGOLD, so let's jump in with day 11 with the afternoon show. MARIGOLD. Now we're going to finish up the recent tour, Rising Spirit. Now they made a detour down in, of course, I believe in Sapporo, and they did a two-show event in one day on day 11. So this is day 11, but there's two shows of it that we're going to focus on the noon, the afternoon actually. So let's get cracking on that one. Now, our first match, we have Kizuna Tanaka teaming up with Rhea Seto, taking on Hummingbird and Natsumi Shozuki. So basically nothing too special on this one. Now, of course, many would say that Shozuki might pick up the win since she is a former Superfly champion. She would have picked up the win. Obviously, that's what we think. But however, it was Rhea Seto who picked up the win on Hummingbird when she applied the Deadpool suplex. The same kind of move we see with Yuya Uemura. I don't know if she got the idea from him, but it was an excellent way to pick up the win. So, Rhea Seto and, of course, Kizuna Tanaka pick up the win. Now, our next match, we have three-way match. We have Nagisa Tachibana versus Komomo Minami versus Chanyota. So, most likely, many of you would think Chanyota would pick up the win. Yeah, I mean, she is more experienced, a bit more experienced than both Nagisa and Komomo combined. But it was her who picked up the win when she applied a jackhammer onto Komomo Minami, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Chinyota wins the match. Next up, we have Darkness Revolution, Mitsa Matsui and Nagisa Nozaki taking on Minami Yuki and Shigagoto. Now, of course, when it comes to Darkness Revolution, or similar to Hate, you probably would think, oh, they're going to cheat their way through due to using weapons, stopping them on the outside. I mean, that's practically who they were. But, of course, as always, it was Nagisa Nozaki who picked up the win against Minami Yuki, who's a bit more lesser experienced than her. Well, Nagisa Nozaki has more experience than her, but you know what I mean. But just like that, she did like a somewhat a version of the Kamigoya. Instead of going with the knee strike, it was a foot drive, like boom, right in the face. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now we jump into the other members of Darkness Revolution. We got Megaton and Chiaki taking on Miku Anu and Mai Sakurai. Now, of course, it's no secret if anybody would guess that Mai Sakurai is the United National Champion. Anybody could pin her and they get a shot. But however, as always, when we've seen the much recent matches with Megaton, either in singles action or teaming up with Darkness Revolution, she's always the one who gets the loss. And this is one of those moments where, of course, Sakurai picked up the win by pinfall. And just like that, Sakurai and Anu picked up the win. Next up, we have a very interesting one. As you all know, we have Seri Yamaoka taking on Nanane Takahashi. Now, for those who may not know, Nanane Takahashi has officially retired, but this was an important match in its way because, you know, Seri Yamaoka has, you know, and learned to embrace passion the way she did. So I don't know if Nanane has passed on that knowledge to her, knowing too well that she's on retiring. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for Seri Yamaoka to show what she's made of and learn what exactly she learned from Nanane Takahashi. And I think it was a pretty good match. I have to say, Seri did not hold nothing back, but unfortunately it was Nanane Takahashi with the refrigerator bomb, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, she picked up the win. And of course, a post-match promo came about. Now, I don't know what Nanane Takahashi said to Seri Yamaoka, but I'm sure she's happy to team up with her, happy to see the next generation will take over when she's gone. And I think that's an important moment because we know that many wrestlers are not going to stay around forever. But Nanane Takahashi wants to ensure the future is still intact, and I think that's the perfect moment. Now, our main event, we have Mirai and Mayu Iwatani. Interesting, they team up. They take on, of course, their opponents that we'll be facing later on. I probably will review that at some other time. Victoria Yuzuki, our Superfly champion, and our world champion, Utami Ayashida. Now, for those who may not remember, Mirai issued a challenge for the world title, while Victoria Yuzuki nominated Mayu Iwatani as her opponent for the Superfly championship. So that kind of sets that you can call this one more as a preliminary match in every possible way. But the real question I think many of you would ask, who's going to get the momentum out of this one? I mean, normally what you would think, champions are most likely pick up the win. However, it was Mirai who picked up the win with a lariat onto Utami Ayashida, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Mirai picked up the win for her and Mayu Iwatani. So of course we did see the post-match promo. Mirai saying some few words to Utami back, and then Mayu Iwatani to Victoria Yuzuki, and her back to Mayu, that sort of thing. So I can't wait to review that particular event. But right now, let's finish up this one. So let's move on to the evening show of day 11 of Marigold's Rising Spirit. Okay, so we continue with day 11 of Marigold Rising Spirit. This took place on May 17th. Just to reiterate, this is the evening show in case anybody asks. Now, we opened up with 6-woman tag team match. We have Nagisa Tachibana, Minami Yuki, and Hummingbird. They take on Komomo Minami, and she teams up with Serene Flora, consistent of Kizuna Tanaka and Victoria Yuzuki. So of course you would think in some capacity there would be some dynamics. We are in this dynamic. We know that Serene Flora are an excellent tag team group because we see how well they work together. You look at the other team. Well, some can team up very well, but it was in the end Victoria Yuzuki that picked up the win with a tiger a suplex onto Hummingbird, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Serene Flurry, and of course, Komo Minami picked up the win. Next up, we have Darkness Revolution, Megaton, and Mitsa Matsui versus Rhea Seto and Siri Yamaoka. Now, as always, we have seen in the dynamics with Darkness Revolution the weakest link of the group, Megaton. As always, Megaton is the one who had to take the fall. Now, I'm not sure exactly what Siri Yamaoka was doing. It looks more like a sharpshooter type, but instead, she's pulling up, crossing the feet, crossing like this, and just pulling it up like wrenching them in the back. I don't know what you call that, but that seemed the job for, of course, Megaton to tap out. Next up, we have Natsumi Shozuki and Mirai taking on Chanyota and Miku Anu. Interesting team, the Chanyota and Miku Anu teaming up once again, but I wasn't too sure where this was going. I know Mirai was focusing on her world title, but in the end, of course, it was what's her name, Miku Anu, that picked up the win when she gave a buzzsaw kick to Natsumi Shozuki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have the other members of Darkness Revolution, Chiaki and Nagisa Nozaki, taking on Mayu Iwatani and Utami Ayashida, which is, of course, interesting. For those who don't know the history between those two, Utami Ayashida was the one who shocked the world when she defeated Mayu Iwatani for the red belt. And that's always been one of those things where it never forgets. Now, Utami Ayashida, of course, is irritated with the fact that Mayu is there, but Mayu knows that she'll get the world title one day, but that day is not, because right now she is focusing and preparing her match against, of course, Victoria Yuzuki, which, of course, it already happened, but I'll review that soon enough in case anybody asks. But I asked myself, okay, how is the dynamic with both two wrestlers, Utami, who is considering to become the ace of MARIGOLD, teaming up with the icon of Yoshi Wrestling? I have to say, it's a pretty good dynamic, because these girls have made a name for themselves. But however, when it comes to Darkness Revolution, it's no secret that, much like Hate, they like to cut corners by cheating, by using weapons, distracting referees, softening their opponents up on the outside. But in the end, it was Mayu Iwatani that picked up the win with a moonsault on Chiaki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our main event, we have the MARIGOLD United National Championship. Mai Sakurai defends her championship against Chika Goto. Now, Chika Goto, as you know, she is a strong, tall girl. As you guys remember, her and Kyoki Amori were known as Twin Tower tall girls, and they really got the job done. However, Chika Goto, I have seen her how much she has grown. I mean, we know she is frustrated as she's unable to produce great results when it comes to championship matches. We know she has the capability. But with Mai Sakurai, she has more experience. Not only the fact because, we've seen her stardom. A, she learned from Julia. 2, she learned from Hideki Suzuki. And she learned a lot of things in order to pick up the win. However, of course, there was a moment we did see Chiaki Chikagoto with her, bloody in her face or something. I'm not sure. But Mai Sakurai picked up the win when she applied the STF. And just like that, Chikagoto had no choice but to tap out, and the match goes to, of course, Mai Sakurai. And of course, Sakurai applied a post-match promo at the end. No challengers have been announced, but we do know later on that there was that Mai Sakurai will be preparing herself for a match later on the 31st, I believe, of May, facing Shino, who is, of course, a rookie wrestler who's been out for almost a year due to the fact she had to go return and study. But we'll get to that at some point. But as of right now, this is done from MARIGOLD. Now we move on to MARIGOLD's Rising Spirit Day 12, and this was the final show before their big show. So, let's get to it. Last review with MARIGOLD Rising Spirit. This is Day 12. This took place on the 18th of May. Now, that's like the day after, of course, the two-show event on the 17th. Now, we opened up with Nagisa Tachibana versus Komomo Minami. So basically, we haven't seen so far, you know, Nagisa Tachibana pick up a single win. I mean, we have seen Komomo Minami picked up single wins here and there, but nothing too big just yet. I mean, that's one of the things we will pay attention. Now, I probably thought some part of me would have thought, okay, this is to be the day where Nagisa Tachibana will finally get her first singles win. I mean, not like the big win, but a win for her to be proud of. But unfortunately, that did not happen. I have to say, Komomo Minami really impressed me with how she pinned her. I was like, how the heck did she do that? I can't describe the maneuver, but it was awesome. So she picked up a pinfall just like that. 1, 2, 3. It was done. Next up, we have Ryo Seto and Hummingbird. They take on Minami Yuki and Seri Yamaoka. Now, I think some people would think there's be some interesting moments in this match. Hummingbird has a bit more experience. But the one thing that really surprising is, of course, it's Seri. Seri, as you know, has now grown a lot. I mean, people call her the rookie sensation due to the fact that she has built up a great career in a very short amount of time. Some people would say it would take like a year or maybe a year and a half or so to develop those skills. You know, pick up not the big wins, but maybe wins that could matter for her. You know, that sort of thing. But she continues to impress me a lot. And as always, she picked up the win when she pinned Hummingbird, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have Megaton versus Chanyota. Now, we have seen countless times with Darkness Revolution that Megaton has been known as the one who caused Darkness Revolution matches. So she has been considered the weakest link. Now, some people think, will she be able to pick up the win against Chanyota? I don't know. But Chanyota was able to pick up the win when she applied a crossface, and just like that, she had to tap out. So Chanyota walked away with the win. Our next match, we have all the 3 members of Darkness Revolution, Mitsa Matsui, Chiaki Nagisa Nozaki, taking on Serene Florine, Victoria Yuzuki, and Kazuno Tanaka. They team up, of course, with the world champion herself, Utami Ayashida. So you probably would say, okay, obvious things. We know there's 2 champions in this match. We know that, of course, Darkness Revolution, when it comes to them, they like to cut corners. They like to cheat. They like to use weapons, distract referees, take their opponents outside the ring in order to, of course, try to win. Well, in this case, they did everything humanly possible. But, however, the world champion continues to rise when she, of course, picked up a blue thunder bomb on Mitsu Matsui. Mitsu Matsui would have been almost close to defeat Utami Ishida and just possibly, get a future world title, but that did not happen. Utami applied a blue thunder bomb, I believe, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Utami, along with Kizuna Tanaka and Victoria Yuzuki, picked up the win. Now, our main event, we have Natsumi Shozuki, Miku Anu, and Mai Sakurai. They take on Chika Goto, Mirai, and Nanane Takahashi. Now, this will be, of course, the last time Nanane Takahashi's, doing the smaller shows in this one, and of course touring, because the next show will be her last match. But however, you can consider this match another preliminary match due to the fact that, of course, Nanane Takahashi's, of course, opponent for her last match is Miku Anu. Now, for those who don't know, Rasi Ogawa wanted to have Julia to be her final opponent, but due to her commitments with WWE, were unable to do so. So Miku Anu was in fact the next logical choice, which I personally don't have a problem with. But this is a good preliminary match for us to watch. But as always, Nana Takahashi picked up the win when she applied a driver onto Natsumi Suzuki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. So I can't wait to review the next one with you guys on that. But that's going to be at another time. Not sure it's going to be for the next episode, but we'll just have to wait and see. But as of right now, let's end it here because we are officially done with our reviews. But let's move on with our last thing we have to do to close up this episode, and that is, of course, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. As always, let's begin with upcoming events, and beginning with the GCW, all compiled in one swoop. Now, as you know, the 22nd of June, they will be in Kansas City, Missouri for Take a Picture. It was announced that KJ Orzo, better formerly known as Fuego del Sol, will be making his appearance to take on everybody's favorite dad, Dan the Dad. And then, of course, the following month in Dallas, Texas, for the Boss of All Bosses, Effie will be in action to take on Atticus Cogar. Now, however, this match has been announced as a GCW World Title match if Effie survives and retains his championship. So that means he has to defend it against Atticus Cogar, the Silver Tooth Saint. I'm sure he will love nothing more to obtain this belt. So we'll see how that goes. Now, we have, of course, Deadlock Pro Wrestling with Victory Lap. That'll be happening soon. We have tag team action. We have Morgan Dash teaming up with Bojack. They take on Jackson Drake, our current Evolved champion. He teams up with Manny Lowe. Then, of course, we have Jersey Championship Wrestling, or JCW, with Born Omos on the 4th of July, taking place on the 6th of July. Lee Moriarty will take on Darren Bankston, so I don't know who he is. House of Glory, as you know, will have the Texas event on July 11th. It was announced it's going to be title versus title. The current Crown Jewel champion, Zilla Fatu, will defend his championship and hopefully to obtain the House of Glory world title. The root of all evil, Charles Mason, will defend his belt. So basically, it's a winner-takes-all match, so it's going to be interesting to see. And then finally, as you know, we have the collaboration between Prestige Wrestling, West Coast Pro, Deadlock Pro Wrestling for Cruel Summer on the 26th of July. They announced, of course, Leon Slater will be participating in this event. So that's pretty much it for the upcoming events. Let's move on to some developments. Now, on this section, I like to call, of course, the FIFO Select Report. Well, many of you may know this person. Her name is Maya Lesnar. Yes, she is the daughter of Brock Lesnar. Now, some of you may say, is she going to join wrestling? No. FIFO Select decided to report that, of course, his daughter won the NCAA Shot Put Championship. So basically, there's a video you can see that she actually had one of those ball things that you just toed, and she won the championship for that. I'm sure many people will probably be surprised, but some of you may ask, will she ever join the wrestling business? That's something I don't know. I cannot speak on that, but we'll see. Now, Mike Bailey, as you know, made his AEW debut this year. Well, apparently he said that he's going to spend the rest of his remaining career in AEW. So basically, he has no intentions of going any other promotion. But however, he has a great motivation that he would like to travel to other locations like New Japan and Mexico, that sort of thing. So he likes to do all of that. So it's great to hear that that's his initial plan from the remaining of whatever career he has left, which is a good thing. Wrestling Observer has revealed that Private Party, their AEW contract will expire soon. Now, we haven't seen them yet. We know recently they have been wrestling at House of Glory, which is their home before they were signed to AEW. So we don't know what's going on from that, but we'll see. Now, many of you know this already. Tam Nakano has officially retired. However, she along with her Cosmic Angel teammates, Natsupoi and Sadu Anu, are part of the Rail. What's it called again? Rail Pro Wrestling. Basically, something with trains. However, now that Tam's gone, apparently Saya Kamitani has taken her place, and of course, Kamitani is taking great moments saying, I'm taking everything with Tam. And there is no way Sadi Anu and Natsupoi are going to get along with her, knowing too well that they forced her friend to retire and banish her, or that sort of thing. But yes. Now, some people I think people have a mixed reaction to this, where it was later revealed that Omos has signed a new WWE extension contract. We haven't seen him for quite some time. We know he was wrestling in Noah and he was pulled back sooner, but some people thought it was a mistake. But Yeah, that's what we've been hearing. Now, SEAdLINNG, as you know, they have have revealed a brand new trainee. Her name is Sena, but she goes by Celine Masaoa, I think. Hold on, let me pull it up. Sorry, folks, let me pull that up. I have that information. Okay. Oh, here it is. Yeah, she goes by Celine Misora, which Celine means for Greek goddess of moon. Good name. Uh, she will be making her debut again in Stardom against Koguma from Stardom on the early Summer Games on June 17th in Shinjuku Face. A bit of her background: she was born on June 8th, 2005. She she is the age of 20. Birthplace in Yokohama, and her height is about 150 centimeters. I don't know how that is in feet. And then of course she weighs by 54 kilograms. And her sports history: she is an expert in judo, which is good. I have to say we do have a couple of judo experts, in Stardom, and I'm sure she'll probably use that as a way to do that. So that's pretty much what we have. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Well, coming up for our next one, well, I am considering possibly continuing with more of MARIGOLD's much recent events. As you know, we have the bigger show that took place in Korakuen Hall, which features, of course, most of the championships being on the line, and of course, Nana Takahashi's last match, and of course, their latest tour that doing right now, their first anniversary, Burning Desire. I think that's what it called. So I might consider doing those and try to catch up in that faction. So we'll see how things will progress from here on out. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.